We will, because they're quite spicy. We're just still letting the audience build up. This is the next one. And I'm going to go to the lovely Kate first on this one. Fiction or fact? Both Thomas Frank and Arne Slot will be sacked before the January transfer window opens.
I am saying fiction. I think Frank's under pressure, but I think the board have made it clear that they see him being a long-term appointment at Spurs. Arne Slot the same. FSG wants stability at the club. They've already said they're going to back him in January. I just don't see either of them going in January or by January. I think Thomas Frank has probably been told that he's got a certain amount of time to turn it round. But just for me, if you was to sack, for instance, Thomas Frank, first of all, I just don't know what on earth you'd achieve by it. I don't know who you'd get in at this point in the season. He hasn't really had time to sort of get his own team yet. He hasn't had a proper window. And then Arne Slot, I think, has got a bit of credit in the bank. Obviously won the league last year. I think Liverpool fans are far too entitled. I said it last time. I think they need to understand that this season, lots of different factors, players are aging, the Jota situation, and I don't see FSG sacking him either. So I'm saying neither will be sacked by the January window.
Mm. What do you think they should be? I mean, Arne Slot, I mean, last night they drew at home again. Most Liverpool fans now are just on that sort of element of something's got to change. Do you think they're right to stick by it? I kind of get the situation at Tottenham, but what do you think with Liverpool? Defending champions, but I mean, they're pretty much, they might as well give up the Gold Lions now.
I just think that he needs to rebuild their team. I think, like I say, Salah is not the player he was. Van Dijk's clearly not the player he was. And I just think it'd be a travesty if they sack him. I think, and I'm not saying that because I want Slot to stay there because of Liverpool. I just think Liverpool fans are so incredibly entitled, like Hassam, who think that they should win something every year, Hassam, the fraud. And so I think they deserve this little bit of pain. You want to know the truth? And I think that they're going to have to just be patient. I do not see FSG pulling the plug on Arne Slot yet.
This is worst start for Liverpool since the 1930s. Their worst opening 14 games in almost 100 years, though.
Wow.
That's football, though. Look at this season, though, Terry. At the end of the day, Arsenal, like I say, the only one showing any sort of consistency. It's just a crazy season so far. It's only been 14 weeks, but it's madness.
What are you saying, Wolfie? Do you think Liverpool fans are entitled for wanting Arne Slot sacked?
I think they are one of the most entitled fan bases going, but you could argue they have the, pedigree to have that entitlement with the trophies they've won. I think Arne Slot has been too stubborn. I just think he's set in his ways and it doesn't look like he's going to change. They've had a couple of little results here and there where you think, okay, is he going to change? I think back to the Real Madrid one. And then he sets up completely different for the Man City game after that. I think I would like him to stay as well as Thomas Frank. I think neither manager is going to have a good season. And it depends really, because of the Champions League, that is probably saving his job. Because he's still in it and they do have a chance of winning that. I think you'll see come the new year, they'll probably turn their focus more towards that than they will the Premier League. And that's probably their best chance of winning silverware. And that would salvage their season. In terms of Spurs, I said in the summer, Thomas Frank was just overhyped. He's a defensive manager. It reminded me a lot of when they signed Nuno. Again, talk about entitled fans. Spurs are the worst. They think they're bigger than they are. They've just got to accept that they were 17th last season for a reason. The table doesn't lie. And 16th and up would have been progress for them this year. So they can't attract a bigger manager than Thomas Frank. I don't know who would go to Spurs, who would want to go to Spurs. Thomas Frank was the level they could attract. He's never won a trophy, very similar to the team he's joining. And they're just going to have to deal with him because that's what they wanted. They wanted a pragmatic manager because they had Ange. Yeah, he's conceded more goals than Ange. So what happened to him sorting out defenses and what have you in the same time frame? And on top of that, Spurs are just Spurs, and they always will be. And this is the thing: their fan base need to stop thinking they're a top 6 team. They're not. They're just there
Not
on
all
finances.
of their fan base. Not
all
all
the fan base, but you would agree a large majority.
Yeah, there are a few.
Yeah.
Dickheads.
I don't know what Spurs fans want. This is the thing. I think the biggest trophy they can win is the one they won last year, which was the Europa League. They'll never win the Premier League. They'll never win the Champions League. So they should be happy with what they won last year. And for them, finishing in a European spot is basically going to be a trophy for them. So Thomas Frank, will they sack him? Probably. I thought he'll be gone by February, I said at the start of the season, because I know how Spurs fans think. My brother's bloody one of them. And they're just not happy. And they're extremes. Either they get a manager who's too attacking or they get one who's too defensive. They need a balanced manager. Someone like a Marco Silva would probably be that kind of right balance and right level for him. But would he leave Fulham for Spurs? I'm not so convinced.
I can't take bans from a Forest fan, but I'm just going to sit here quietly. Couldn't I'll let you go.
It wasn't banter.
You let me go. Hey,
He meant it.
You're trying to say that Spurs are Spurs as though Forest are anything special.
Well,
he
we have
wasn't
zero.
speaking with Forest in mind, Kate. He was just speaking. He's
just being mean. He's just been a big, mean wolf. That's what he's been. A big, mean wolf.
I mean, I was speaking for
Who's
Forest.
afraid of a big bad wolf? Kate is.
With me, I think it would be very cheeky for Liverpool to get rid of Arne Slot at this moment. Yes, he's been super stubborn, but I just don't think they understood that as Salah gets older, he's going to lose something at some point. It just happened to be the time where he signed a major contract and having a great season, winning the league. And then I don't think Liverpool fans and Arne Slot realized how much the loss of Trent was going to change their team. Like, they need to find a kind of a new style of play because they've had a playmaker at right back for the last 7 years. This is the first time in how many years they've had a playmakers in the middle of the park. So he does have a little bit to fix. Yes, he could have been less stubborn and probably could have fixed some things a lot quicker. But at the end of the day, a manager that wins you your 20th league title in his first season deserves a chance to the end of the season for the sheer fact that I don't think they can't win the league. I don't believe. Number one. Number two, they're still in the Champions League. They're still in the FA Cup because it's not even started for them yet. So there's still hope. I don't see another guy coming in doing better than that hope. So what is the point of not giving Arne Slot to, at the very least, to the end of the season and see how it plays out? That's for Slot. In terms of Thomas Frank, I just think he's still lost in the whole. Am I still at Brentford? Like he doesn't know where he is yet, mate. He just went a few minutes down the road. He thinks he's still at Brentford. He doesn't realize he doesn't have to give Bentancur the same instructions as he was giving Norgard. He doesn't give Kudus the same instructions he was giving Mbeumo because they're completely different teams, completely different quality of player as well. So once he snaps out of that, I believe we'll start seeing things level out a little bit. And let's be honest, anyone in this panel, hey, if Spurs finish 8th, that's a good season. 8th from 17th to 8th, that is a good season.
16th is progress, didn't they? 16th is progress, bro.
Oh, 16th is definitely progress. But if they finish in the top half after Frank taking them on, like I think Spurs fans need to be content. As you said, Wolfie, they don't need to stop being in this bubble that we're a guaranteed top 6 side. Obviously not, because you finished 17th. I don't know the last top 6 side to finish that low in the table. I don't know. If so, let me know the season that happened as well. So you need to gradually get yourself up to speed. Frank I think he should at least get this season and next season because it's his first season playing European football, let alone Champions League football. And finishing 8th and having a good couple of cup runs, I think that's perfect for Spurs at this stage.
And Kinley, if you look at his first interview when he was Spurs manager, he set the stall out to them. I don't know why they're so shocked. The first thing he said in the preseason tour was, I guarantee you we will lose matches. That was the first thing he said to them, and he's come true on his promise. He then said he doesn't know of any team that doesn't lose matches, and he said, "Oh yeah, crap Arsenal." So it started off on the wrong foot for him from day one. This is what they're getting with Thomas Frank, and they've just got to cope with it.
Wolfie, Jimbo's asked me to ask you a question. He says,
Sure.
what on earth has your brother done to you to make you hate Spurs so much?
Being my brother.
Yeah, this is deep rooted.
His entitlement. He always
Yeah,
goes on
look,
about
I
the
do
clutch
think
era.
I do think Wolfie's onto something in terms of I've said it a few times. I think they have. I call it Tottenham dysmorphia. They don't know where they are. They don't know what they are as a collective. I kind of get a Man United having a fan base that's really split because of what we were, and you get this. It's age based. A lot of the older heads that remember the 70s and getting relegated, they're more calm because they see it as it's horrible, but they know it will get good. The guys that were born into it being brilliant don't know anything else, so they're kind of a different standing. I'm in that kind of space of I remember the late 80s, so I remember when we weren't a good team. I remember people laugh. I remember picking Man United as my team and being laughed at. I remember my dad and his friends laughing. You sure you want to be a Man United fan? I remember it because they weren't winning anything back then. So I do think there is that element that you have in there. But for Spurs, what's strange is you've kind of got to be my dad's age, 70 years old, to actually remember them being a successful team of the highest degree, winning league titles and doubles. Was that the 50s you did that? 60s? 61. So my dad was 6 years old. You've got to be about 65. You've got to be around 70 years old or older to remember Tottenham being the very best team in England. So what I don't get is I don't get the 21-year-olds who talk about Tottenham like they're Real Madrid, like they're Liverpool, like they're peak Man City. It does not resonate with me. And the new stadium plays a part. And I know they're trying to get there, and there's nothing wrong with trying to get there. But until you achieve it, like you could have the ideals, I'm going to become a billionaire and I'm going to start my own car company and I'm going to become a billionaire. But whether you like him or loathe him, you can't start acting like Elon Musk until you've got the bank account, because you'll get cancelled. Like Elon Musk can do what he wants because you can't cancel someone that rich, right? Love him or loathe him. We're not going to get into that debate. You can't start acting like that until you get to that point. And I feel like Spurs sometimes there's a London saying, fake it till you make it. That works on a small scale. You might be a struggling businessman, but I'm going to hire that car and I'm going to buy that nice new jacket because when I turn up to the meeting, it looks like I'm prosperous. That can get you through a few meetings. That can get you through a few doors. It doesn't work as a fan when you have almost no control over what the club does, if that makes sense. And I think you'd feel better. I do agree with Wolfie. Spurs fans would feel better about their team if they accepted where they were. Yeah. And how long it will take to get to that level. So not accepting that you have to stay there, but it's the same with me as I know where we are and I'm accepting of it. I know where I want to get to. I also understand it's going to take us years. We could sack Amram tomorrow, change manager and system to do what Arsenal were doing, to do what City did for the last 7 or 8 years, to get back to us winning titles. It's 4 or 5 years away. Legitimately, it takes a long time. I'm aware of that. But until you recognize what you really are and how long it's going to take to get to the top, you're just always going to be angry. Always angry.
It's what I said to you, Terry, us getting to the Champions League final is what has caused us this. Well, not us, because I'm not including myself in the bracket of those idiots that think we're something we're not. But a lot of the youngsters
Go on, name them. No, don't. Start a beef. Start an online beef. Be a beef.
They don't come on anymore anyway. They don't come on anymore, Terry. They were the children that were saying we were going to win the league a couple of years ago. But do you know what I mean? That they think we got to the Champions League final and that's where we should be every season. But we're a million miles away. And this is what I try and tell them. It's not nice, but it's the sooner you accept it, the less it hurts.
Kate, you bang on. If I hear another Spurs fan tell me about how good they were to lose the Champions League final, again, it's just crazy. It's just, that's the mentality of, we were so amazing, but you lost. It's like,
Wolfie, I was outside that stadium with Neeks, doesn't really come on much anymore, but Neeks, legend in the YouTube space, and Adam Charles, one of the first guests we ever had on the Terrace, good friend of mine. And we were outside the stadium and we did a preview for the final. And then we just we weren't recording this. It was just talking to Spurs fans. Oh, you excited? You excited? You excited? I would say we spoke to 13, 14 people. And how badly do you want to win? Every answer was practically the same. It was just so happy to be there. And we all just walked away again. They've lost the final. You could just, there was a fundamental difference. But then equally, they have that attitude in going into a final, but then talk with this level of superiority and entitlement. That's what I mean. There's this dysmorphia. They don't know what they are. Like 1 minute, they think they're a wolf. No pun intended. The next minute, they're going, bah, they're sheep. They don't know what they are. I've got to use that example. I can't use the more colloquial example.
Jekyll and Hyde thing, Terry.
Yeah, they're Jekyll and Hyde. You know what I mean? They don't know what bathroom to go in. Oh, I'm going too far now. We'll get in trouble. We'll get taken down. We'll get taken down. We'll get taken down.